What's up, guys? Matt Brown here for thelines.com, playpicks.com. Going to talk a little bit about Monday Night Football here between the Steelers and the Giants. Before we get going, though, hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and give us a thumbs up. Let us know in the comment section how you are playing this game. And, of course, you know, the reason we want you to hit that subscribe button, everything we do here is free. Everything we do over on the Lines is free. So you're definitely going to want to get notified every time we get something going over there. Steelers heading over to the east, heading over to the New York area to play the Giants here. Let's take a look at different lines. We'll start out at DraftKings as we come down. We are sitting at 6 right now. The Steelers as favorites, 6-point favorites. 45.5 is your total. 250 if you want the Steelers on the money line, plus 215 if you want the Giants. Over here on FanDuel, we're actually at 5.5. So you can see this thing has moved a little bit. 5.5 here. 45.5 the total as well. Coming over here to BetMGM, a little bit weird how they sit this out for you to try to have to kind of decipher what the prevailing line is. But you can see right here, they are at 6 as well. That's where you're finding the 110 right here. So they are at 6 over here on the totals. Same deal. You kind of have to go and search a little bit to see where the 110s are. And they're at 44.5. So if you're looking to play the over in this one, you're going to want to head over to MGM where you are getting a full point on what they've got over at DraftKings and at FanDuel. Weather, nothing to worry about here. Low 70s, no chance of rain. Don't worry about that. On the Steelers side of things, here's a full written preview over here at the Lines, guys, if you want to take a look at this. Of course, the return of Big Ben here coming off of elbow surgery. They brought in Eric Ebron at tight end. He's a playmaker so long as he's healthy and can stay on the field. They drafted wide receiver Chase Claypool to help out as well. On the Giants side of things, big turnover on the Giants organization. New head coach in Joe Judge. Jason Garrett is now the offensive coordinator. Patrick Graham is now the defensive coordinator. They did draft an offensive tackle with the 4th overall pick to try and help Daniel Jones, Andrew Thomas out of Georgia, so he's in there. They drafted a safety in Xavier McKinney, though he's out with a broken foot, so he will not be playing. They got another offensive tackle with their 3rd-round pick and a corner with their 4th-round pick. Of course, you guys know the one really good offensive lineman that they have, or at least one good offensive lineman, Nate Solder, he has opted out, so he will not be playing in this game. So they did sign corner James Bradbury to try and help out with the secondary with them. The injury news we're monitoring on that side of the ball for the Giants, pretty healthy on the Steelers side of things. On the Giants side of things, we'll be watching. Golden Tate has been dealing with a little bit of a hamstring injury, so we're going to be monitoring Golden Tate as we head into this game. We look at the total as we were talking about. Of course, it's sitting, as we said, 45.5 at DraftKings and FanDuel, 44.5. Over at BetMGM, if you wanted that, if you're kind of looking at how this is pace-wise, the Giants played at the 8th fastest situation neutral pace last year out of any of the teams. The Steelers played at one of the slowest paces there was of any of the teams, but maybe that had a lot to do with the fact that they were trying to hide Devlin Hodges and Mason Rudolph. You know, so nothing really that we can kind of pull from last year's statistics when it comes to the Steelers, because, I mean, at the end of the day, on the offensive side of the ball, defense definitely can, but on the offensive side of the ball, you know, we got 6 quarters out of Ben Roethlisberger last year. So nothing really there. Now, on the offense for the Steelers, though, they are projected to have one of the very best offensive lines, projected a top 10 offensive line according to Pro Football Focus as we head into the season. That should help out Ben Roethlisberger. I'll scroll a little bit if you want to take a look at and read along to some of the breakdown here. Giants, 22nd in the league in sacks last year. Don't look to be much better this year. So good offensive line against a team that doesn't get very many sacks as it is anyway should bode well for Ben Roethlisberger. James Conner also sets up pretty well against this defense. They gave 145 yards a game last year on the ground. So James Conner could be in for a pretty big day as well. Giants offense on that side of the ball. Daniel Jones, he threw for like 3,027 yards last year in 12 starts, which averages out to about 233 yards a game. If he takes that second-year leap, you know, maybe you're looking at a little bit better statistics there. But the big thing is he was pressured so incredibly often. If you look at his clean pocket statistics, he was actually pretty good for a rookie. Put up some pretty good statistics. But the problem is he was pressured on 41% of his dropbacks, which was the second most in the league. And he was actually really, really bad when he was pressured, and he was pressured nearly every other time that he dropped back to throw the ball. So they're going to have to try and protect him, but it doesn't look like this year that offensive line is going to be anything, especially in this game, that's going to be able to protect him here. This Steelers defense, projected to be one of the very best in all of the league, as we know. Scroll a little bit further if you want to read a little bit more here. They have one of the best pass rushes as well in the league. Finished last season 3rd overall DVOA, 3rd DVOA against the pass, 4th DVOA against the run. They led the league in sacks. They blitz at one of the highest rates in all of the league. That looks to all kind of translate to this season as well. They're bringing back 10 of 11 starters. I mean, it is a very cohesive unit. Everything's intact, same coaching staff, all of that. So lots to like about this Steelers defense here, especially going up against this Giants offense. On the Giants defense side of the ball, bottom of the league in a lot of metrics against the pass. Pretty much all the metrics against the pass, they were in the bottom of the league. They were actually 28th overall DVOA defense, which is not good. 30th, though, versus the pass DVOA. They weren't as bad against the run, but really bad against the pass DVOA. And, again, Ben Roethlisberger is back here. So let's go ahead and flip over here, guys. Let's take a look at the total. And so we're sitting at 45.5. And so let's say we wanted to play the over in this one, which we would do over here at MGM because, again, we're getting 44.5. So the case for the over in this game would be, how much of this do the Steelers just get done on their own, right? Ben Roethlisberger back under center. Juju Smith-Schuster is healthy. James Conner is healthy. They drafted Chase Claypool, who they think will be a pretty good number 3 receiver for them there. Deontay Johnson was getting pretty good rave reviews coming out of camp as well. So a lot to like. Eric Ebron they added to this offense that they said he was doing really, really well. Of course, we've seen Eric Ebron do well and produce when he's on the field, but the problem just being, he gets injured so often. So basically comes down to how close can the Steelers get to this total themselves, right? I mean, can they put up 31, 34 in this game? If so, I mean, then at that point, the Giants only have to get a garbage time score essentially right there, and you're getting towards the over in this game right here. If you want to play the under, which of course we would just head over here to DraftKings, so we'll play the under at 45.5 over here. Case for the under in this thing, if you're looking to lean that way, or if you want to, be talked into the under, could be just that the Giants offense can't get anything going whatsoever against this Steeler defense. And it's compounded with the under of the fact that maybe Ben Roethlisberger struggles. He played 6 quarters last year, right? He's coming off a major surgery. Now, there were camp reviews that said everything was fine and he looked great, and him and Juju had all the chemistry and everything like that. I mean, but we didn't hear too many terrible camp stories come out. Most people were pretty positive when it came to all their camp stories. So I don't know how much to buy into all of these, camp stories. Seemed like everybody had the best camp ever and everyone's in the best shape ever and all that. But a case for the under just could be that he needs a couple games to kind of get back in the rhythm, right? Maybe things just aren't really clicking right off the bat for a guy that hasn't played in well over a year. Well, about right at a year. So those are a couple of things that could play in to the under here if you're looking to go under the 45.5. As far as the player props in this one and the ones that I am looking at, guys, we mentioned right off the bat here that we are going to be monitoring the Golden Tate situation, who's coming into this game with a little bit of a hamstring injury. If for whatever reason he was not able to go, and so if he was not able to go, I would be looking then at that point at Sterling Shepard props and looking to be hitting the overs on some Sterling Shepard props. So you can see right here, 46.5 lined right now the way it is with Golden Tate, still in technically as we record this, about right? But if he were out, he's projected to be their highest target share of anybody in that offense. So those targets have to go somewhere. I would expect that Sterling Shepard, with the kind of role that he plays in this offense, would be the biggest beneficiary of no Golden Tate. And so with that being the case, if for any reason Golden Tate gets ruled out, guys, I would come in and take a serious look at these Sterling Shepard overs, be it receptions, be it yardage, stuff like that. So just something that I'll be monitoring as we head into game time, as we get closer to all of that. If you look at some of these other totals here, like James Conner rush yards, I really looked into those, especially with a defense here that gives it up on the ground a ton. The only problem is I just don't know how much Benny Snell is going to play in here. They drafted a guy in McFarland in the 4th round. Maybe he gets some carries too if this thing gets out of hand. So that's why I couldn't really pull the trigger on the over here on James Conner. It would be an over or pass for me. I don't think I would play the under just for the fact that James, he could still get his in 3 quarters and maybe not play the 4th quarter or something like that. So it would be an over or pass on Conner, but that one hasn't really made my account quite yet in this one. On the receiving yards too with Juju, you can kind of see 65.5 here at DraftKings. Here at FanDuel, if we take a look at the Juju, he's at 66.5. So you can see they're pretty much right on 65.5, 66.5 with each other in this one. Pretty much right on my projection as well with him, and really just more for the fact that I think that this game could kind of get out of hand and they won't really need him a ton down the stretch. So not really pulling the trigger on that one. The one I am pulling the trigger on here, and it's not going to be over here. You see it's 277.5 at FanDuel. But if we come over here to DraftKings, you can find Ben Roethlisberger at 280.5. And I'm actually going to play the under in this one for the same reason that I just said. I think they control this game. I don't think they have any problem with the Giants in this game. And I don't think Ben Roethlisberger is going to need to keep his foot on the gas for the entire game here. So I'm going to play under the 280.5 passing yards for Ben Roethlisberger. Probably not a huge play because there is that kind of like the thing that I said with James Conner there. There is the fact of the matter that he could get everything that he needs in 3 quarters, right? He could get 290 yards against his defense in 3 quarters, of that being the case. But I am going to play the under 280.5 here for a little bit as well. As far as the number, and I don't like doing this just because, it is what it is. When this number first hit, this thing opened at 4. I got on it at 4 really, really rapidly. And so I have a Steelers -4 in my account. I feel really, really good about that Steelers -4 ticket. I think the Steelers roll in this game. I think it's a pretty easy win for them, which is why I don't mind the 6. If you wanted to play the 6, I'm not going to sit there and talk you out of it because again, I think they win this game 10+, So I don't mind the 6 really at all. And, I actually might take a piece of an alt line here, something like that. I might even come in and try to get one of these plus numbers here on the Steelers. Like I said, I think that there is a chance that they win this game 2 touchdowns plus. So that defense is going to feast against that offensive line, patchwork offensive line. Daniel Jones, I think, will turn the ball over a couple of times, create some short fields for this Steelers team as well that should equal some quick and easy points for the team. This defense is really so incredibly good. They're going to blitz like hell. They're going to get all up in Daniel Jones's face, and so don't mind this at all. Don't really have a play on the total either, guys. This would be, again, it would be an over or pass for me if you wanted to go that way because, again, I think the Steelers score. I think they score a lot. So I think that they could get close by themselves. I just don't know how much help they're going to get from the other side of the ball from the Giants, which is why I'm laying off the total here. But I do like the Steelers in this game, like the Steelers a lot. And like I said, I'll be watching those props. Should Golden Tate get ruled out, be looking at some Sterling Shepard stuff, and I'm going to be under on Ben Roethlisberger as well. Guys, head over the lines. If you need a sports betting account, just go to click on your state right there. We have the very best sign-up offers. Please take advantage of all that because, as you can see, you can compare the numbers at these different places, and you can get drastically different numbers and drastically different prices and things like that. So be sure and take advantage of all of that. Go ahead, subscribe to the channel like we said, and let us know in the comments, how are you going to play the game? Anything that I missed that you think that you're going to be looking at? Certainly want to hear from you guys. Appreciate it, and good luck tonight.